Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Benjamin BreAKer Novotny.
And I am Salil, MasterDalk Gupta.
Alright, and me and MasterDalk will be casting a game between our Zerg in the lower left-hand corner, representing the University of Washington. I give you a very short, 3-letter name. It's just GOM. But isn't that what GOM TV is named after?
Yeah, I think this guy's a fan of the GSL.
Mm-hmm.
And on the top right of GSL Daybreak, we have from FX Open Esports North American Division, the purple Protoss. He is Theory.
I don't know, like those pros, I thought most of them were already graduated. I mean, like, we see all these, you know, international players, if you will, Idra being the first one to, the first foreigner to compete with Koreans on their own turf. And what was it, the GSL back in the Brood War days? I didn't keep up with the scene enough. How about you?
There was two. It was the MSL, OSL, like OSL.
Really? NSL?
Yeah, it was. MSL was NBC Game Star League.
Oh, okay.
And then OSL was, you know, OGN.
Well, I mean, back to what you were saying about the NSL. I actually thought that was the Neo TV Star League, which is what I am the designated English master for.
M.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
We got to get better microphones. Myself, I am no exception to that. Yeah.
I don't know, dude. It's blame English for naming 2 letters that, like, basically the same thing.
The only difference is one is palatal, the other one is labial. And being a linguist helps you distinguish the difference between both of these.
Yeah. Dropping them knowledge bombs, bro.
I know, right? I don't know, it's kind of funny. Like, I remember one day I was smoking a cigarette and I asked this guy, so how do you blow smoking rings? And he's like, are you acquirable? I'm like, no. And then he says, do you sing at all? No. And then I said, all right, he said, have you ever played an instrument before? I said, no. And then he says, well, geez, man, work with me. Then I said, I'm a linguist. He's like, oh, then what you want to do is you want to use this glottal thing, which is like, use the back of your throat to push out air, but I still couldn't blow the smoke ring successfully. No.
GG no re cigarette. GG no re.
Of course. I gotta quit smoking one of these days.
Yeah, man. It's not good for you.
Alright, now we do have 4 links out on the map. Very standard opener from both players.
Yep. Except for, of course, Theory choosing to put his forge in his main base, and that will be delaying his gateway by a little bit.
Just a teeny bit. But I guess as long as the lings don't make it to the main, he's just fine. There is a cannon already down at the natural, so I don't see any, like, it's basically done. I don't see the lings getting in. Theory, you know, he's being really persistent with that probe.
Yeah. That's good, though. Especially since you want to have information, especially versus Zerg. If they choose to go 2-base, you're going to be in a, like, you need to know that they're going 2-base. Even though, of course, usually they go 3-base, and he does see that the drone's there, but of course you can always just move the drone away. You want to make sure if they're going 3-base or 2-base, because if it's 2-base, you need to have defenses fast.
And see, what I really admire about this is he actually didn't see the 3rd hatchery go down, so he's sending out another probe to get a read on that.
Yep. And this probe, currently without any shields, running from 3 Zerglings. Just look at this hatchery. Has never seen one in its life before, and I don't think you'll see one now, mainly because it's a robot, so it can't really see.
That's true. You know what? What is this big mechanical blue thing that I'm hovering my mouse over on its portrait? Well, he's not gonna get home. Poor guy.
Yeah. He's gonna be dying rather quickly. Theory gonna be sending out a Zealot now, and it's gonna be meeting up with these 3 Zerglings. And some nice micro on that Zealot, gonna be juking so many Zergling shots. And GOM, at the moment, getting his... Never mind, he's not getting his Roach Horn up.
He actually did... I saw it in production just a moment ago. What's this all about?
He got it cancelled and did... He used a Roach Horn, kind of like an extractor trick.
Yeah, except an extractor trick is much more economically viable than a Roach one, I think. And I really like this annoying style from FXOThresh. He's actually He's he's trying to kill creep tumors. He's not trying to do anything else. He's not trying to kill lings. But of course, luckily for Theory, he's got another one for every creep tumor that does fall.
Yep. And it looks like Theory actually probably going to be going for some good old Century Immortal all in.
That's true. I mean, like I was hovering over it just a minute ago, and I was thinking to myself, okay, well, we're gonna have a standard-ish game, but now we see the Roach Warren in production yet again. And where is it? Ah, looks like right down here. I just got a quick glance at my minimap, and I saw it. Evolution Chamber going down right next to it. I'm not entirely sure, what's with the positioning here? Why not trade a Sim City?
Well, mainly because Daybreak probably a much safer map for your natural, I feel, where you have to go through the main or the third to get to the natural so long, and then you just keep all your main defenses at your natural ramp.
I see. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Do you see this a lot as a Protoss player?
Not a lot, but that's mainly because it's all up to personal preference, and plus also the replays where I win, I don't.
You don't check?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I'm not sure. Plus also, if it's that far back, you usually might end up just overlooking it.
I see.
Right.
Well, the Emo Lord, just before it popped, it saw 3 gateways, and the robotics bay. So for all that Gom could know, his opponent could actually be going for a third. And with the position that the Overlord is getting pushed away from now, it seems indicative of that, with the Stalker chasing it away. Especially given the knowledge that he doesn't have of what his opponent is doing in his own name.
Yeah. And right now, the 3 Immortals are out. War Prism on the way. How many sentries are out for Theory? 8 sentries. That is a pretty good number. Going to be going up to 9.
Yeah. And just looking at the amount of energy that they have right now, that's like easily 10 force fields that they have ready to go.
Yep. And Gom actually going to be dropping down a wall of spine crawlers, literally, because it is like, unless you're like a Zergling or a Zealot, you can't really get through this.
And we did just see the Roaches shut down a warp in on a forward located pylon. There are no reinforcements here for the time being, so if Gom was to try and hold against this, which I don't think he can given the supply he has right now, I think he, I just think all he'd have to do is hold off against the first wave. Wait, never mind, the Warp Prism got into the mix, so I'm completely wrong on that.
And now, Theory just heading over towards this third hatchery. There are not many drones here anyways. They all became spine crawlers. The Queen gonna run away immediately. And that hatchery just dying. Not a single force field was used yet.
Right. But there are some life-saving units in production right now, and they are coming in the form of Infestors.
Yep.
Glial Reconstitution finishing up right now. Spine crawler wall poking away at that. First Infestors are about to pop, but I don't know. You think he's gonna try and go all in with this?
Well, no, it's a tough one to call. He has all of these spine crawlers here.
I don't know. This looks more like a contain to me. He's just sitting there like, I dare you to attack me. But oh, now they're Infestors, and that was a beautiful fumble play. He can stack it some more. Oh, he didn't.
Well, it looks like Theory actually going to be following Gom's footsteps by building a wall of cannons at his natural while he's making this push. And it looks like Theory actually going to be going for another round over at the third, going to be clearing all the creep tumors and the 2 extractors here now. Robotics Bay and Twilight Council on the way, so Theory, though, he's done a lot of damage to be able to keep a Zerg on 2 bases for this long.
Oh yeah. Stacked fungal growth, that is beautiful right there. Is he going to try and follow it up with anything else? If he could just get those 2 sentries that are full of energy. Yes, those two sentries and then that third one following it, that would be beautiful. But unfortunately he didn't. And right now, looks like Theory is going to be setting up to take his own third base now. And there is still constant Immortal production with this wall of cannons, though. There is one Immortal actually stuck in the main base there.
It just wants to get out, but sadly it cannot fly to the other bit of the platform there.
Yeah, Dragoons respawned and back in the game as immortals. At least from my perspective. What do you think?
Yeah, I can see that. Immortals, really fat, really strong. Like Stalkers, yeah, I see how they're the Dark Templar part, and I can see that because they're also much more efficient. Like just.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
I got a really good question. How did that immortal make it into the main?
I guess with the wall of cannons, it took a bit of its old Dragoon AI and just ended up in the main base when it got A moved.
Let's see. Alright, well, here we go. The main force of GOM trying to put some pressure on the third. Now, what's critical about this is the supply count for GOM right now is actually much, much lower than it is for Theory.
Yeah, and
this is not ideally how you would engage, but he's throwing forward a bunch of beach balls. And it looks like he's gonna, I don't know, is he trying to, he's targeting down the Nexus right now with his leans and his roaches. Is he gonna get it?
well, it looks like he will, and still though, Theory has every single one of his units minus a few sentries, and that was basically the first time he's had to use force fields in a long time, and Theory knows he's ahead, so he's also now going to be getting Hallucination, and I like seeing Hallucination because it shows with Hallucination you can abuse it so much to the fact, especially if you are going Colossus, because if there's Corruptors, you can just hallucinate more Colossus.
There's a drop going down in the main of Theory, excuse me, of GOM right now, and he's trying to target down the lair, but the Queens are coming back and they're transfusing it so hard right now.
Oh, the Zealots, they went to go attack an Infestor, but no, the lair are going to be staying alive at 535 health. The Warp Prism is spotted by Overlord still, but really, even if he does lose that Warp Prism, he can still remake it fairly easily, and Theory now going to be getting a Dark Shrine.
Yeah, the Great Wall of Spine Crawlers was moved around again. You know, in this position, maybe, just maybe, I'd be tempted to put 2, 3, possibly 4 around in the main, especially, well, I don't know, with as many minerals as there are right now, would that even be cost effective? Would that be worth all the minerals that are there? It looks
well,
like,
probably not, just because of the fact that he has all these other spine crawlers available to him. Plus, also, he is down by 13 workers to a Protoss on the equal basis, so making more spine crawlers probably not worth it.
That's true. I mean, look at all this. Yeah, look, the worker discrepancy is about 11 now. But here we go. Warp Prism is getting ready to move back in, just as we see GOM taking his 4th with the rich Vespene Geyser. Now, if you could just tell me, you know, what is the gas income on a rich Vespene Geyser? Do you know?
I believe it is 8 gas that you get from each trip.
So does that mean double what an ordinary extractor would give out?
Yes, because normally you get 4 per each trip.
Interesting. Something I'd like to point out about this is that this is actually removed from the GSL version of Daybreak at some point or another in time. I forget when exactly it was. The drop did try to go down in the main again, and it was cleaned up by the roaches, but and it looks like we got Theory taking his own 4th in return.
And DT's over at the third, a nice fungal, going to be revealing all but one of the DTs, and this one DT going to be killing off the hatchery.
Oh, the misclick that costed him the game, or the assumption that costed him a game. Maybe, I don't know. If we just check the income right now, it's in, I want to say it's just not good for Zerg at all right now. I mean, if you just look at the income, you always want to be ahead of your opponent as Zerg. Right now, the position that we see GOM in is he's still on layer tech, am I not mistaken? No, he's on hive tech, but he's not using any of the layer tech just yet. Just as a drop goes into the main, it gets canceled. Beautiful placement of the Spore Crawler.
Yep, and right now Greater Spire on the way for GOM, but right now all his roaches are on 0 armor, 1 missile attack, while Theory going up to 3, 2 soon. Plus, the Stargate's finished up and Templar Archives on the way, so
and this is a huge engagement next to the 4th base. A lot of these Colossi are hallucinations. So we could actually see Dom targeting down the wrong ones, and all the beast balls have been tossed forward. What do you make of this theory? Or what do you make of this, Salil?
Well, right now, all of these hallucinated colossus are just providing more targets for Gom to try and pick from, and that's exactly what you use hallucinate for. And GG, well played from Gom. As soon as he loses his fourth, he didn't have a third at all, really. So, well played by Gom, but alas, he was just playing a long game of catch-up.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't, I don't think it would have panned out. Anywho, this has been Benjamin BreAKer Novotny.
And Salil MasterDalk Gupta.
Thanks for watching, guys. We hope you accept our application.